Hello friends, good morning all. I am Dr. Koles. Welcome you all to my YouTube session. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on anthrax. So the disease anthrax is a very dangerous disease and it generally creates a panic among public when the spread of disease is found in case of animals. So let's discuss what is this anthrax. So anthrax is a disease is a acute in nature, means the disease, the duration of finding of the disease or the duration of the incubation period of this disease is very less. So without manifesting the clinical symptom, the animal dies. Means this is acute infectious disease and mostly encountered in all warm blood animals including human beings. Means the homeotherms are mostly affected. In this disease, the animal dies very suddenly and there is no rigor mortis, and we will find some tarry color or some coffee colored blood that is unclotted, very important, unclotted, are coming out of the natural orifices like your anus, your nostrils, your mouth cavity. From all the natural orifices the tarry colored blood is found and there is extensive hemorrhages. Okay, then anthrax, then which organisms do the anthrax, the causes the anthrax? Then the bacterium bacillus anthracis, and that belong to the spore forming bacteria. Okay, and this is very minute bacteria and a and so resistant to the adverse environmental conditions. So this disease is a very dangerous disease and strict regulatory measures have been adopted by many countries to eradicate this disease. Which animal species can be affected by anthrax? Very frequently asked questions. So cattle and sheep are mostly affected, and horse and goat are more resistant, and cat and dogs are apparently quite resistant, and birds seems to be resistant. So cattle and sheep are more vulnerable to these diseases. So anthrax is known as the wool shutter diseases become the wools are produced from the sheep, and the sheep are the most vulnerable animals. So the people working in the sheep industry or the sheep manufacturing of your wool or the processing of the sheep meat, they often get these diseases as it is a disease of zoonotic in nature. Means the disease is transmitted from the animal to human and human to animal. So it is so it is amphigenosis process. So and in US, the people, those people who are working in this wool industry are mostly from the US. So these are generally associated with imported wools which might have been harvested from animals died of anthrax. So when we view this anthrax organisms under the microscope, then we'll find jointed bamboo-like structure. So the bamboo are just like this, just like this, just like so. This is a bamboo-like structure. Then you just see it's a anthrax organism. So coming to the pathogenesis, infection occurs through the inhalation, means through the air, ingestion means through your feed material, through wounds, through any abrasion, any cuts were found in case of your body, then you might get the chances of to get the anthrax organism. So after entry, these spores germinate because it is spore forming organisms and localized for multiplication, which later in case spread by the means of lymphocytes or lymph nodes then to bloodstream causing severe septicemia. So the migratory route through is through the lymph nodes and then to the bloodstream causes the severe septicemia, means there is high load of bacterial concentration in the blood, and finally this causes the toxemic. So in a study we have found the bacterial spore can survive for 15 years, very much important, and also survive in decaying vegetables matter with the germination at a temperature 15.5 degrees centigrade. So the leftover the vegetables that we have, and if it is kept at 15.5 degrees centigrade, then this bacteria have a very good chance to proliferate. So coming to the pathogenesis, there are the proteins causes this disease or the protein responsible for this disease present in the bacteria. So three types of protein is very important. So these three types of protein causes this disease. See, three types of protein, when it when all are together causes disease. When one is left, when one is left, then the two can do the disease. So what are the proteins or the antigens? The protective antigens, the edema factor, and the lethal factor. So the protective antigen is nothing but it protects the organism from the host immune system and or host defense mechanism. And the EDM factor causes there is marked marked increase of the adenyl cyclase. As you have known, the adenyl cyclase enzyme causes a heavy drawing of your fluid from their body, and it causes the edema and the lethal factor. And this lethal factor stimulates the macrophages for production of cytokinin 1, which is interleukin 1, and the tissue necrotizing factor TNF alpha, which causes the shock and death. So all these three antigens are very much important, and there is a extensive study on these three antigen. And you have known all the lethal toxin, this edema toxin, and the protective antigen. So coming to the symptoms, as you have told, it is for acute in nature, means the disease onset is very short. The most animals, they don't exhibit any sorts of clinical symptoms. So, but some animals, they exhibit clinical symptoms, and them. And we might get these types of symptoms, that is fever and temperature is up to 105 or 107 degrees Fahrenheit, bleeding from the natural orifices, then depression, dyspnea, means there is a labored breathing, and taricular flood from the natural orifices, edematous swelling at the throat. Never confuse it with the HS, hemorrhagic septicemia, and the blood tinged milk, and the sudden mortality, this sudden death. So when we find the gross lesions, we find the bleeding from the natural orifices, multiple hemorrhage and hemorrhage for the subcutaneous tissue. Then when we go for the and it is especially for the pathologists or the veterinarians, and common man can't know this gross lesions. So when we do the postmortem examination for the animal, we will find there is heavy enlargement of your spleen, and that's condition known as splenomegaly conditions. A thick and taricular blood from your body cavity, then swollen lymph nodes as the migratory route is your lymph node, then the lymph node is swollen, so rapid decomposition of the carcass, then hemorrhagic enteritis, and ulceration of the intestinal mucosa. So in these cases, when we find a suspected case for the anthrax, then we should not go for any pathological examinations or any postmortem examinations, as the organism is already inside the body or inside the blood system, as this correlation is a process in for this organism. So the spores may come out to the environment, and the people, those people are associated with with that animal might get infected. So it's advisory to all this veterinarian, to the field functionaries or the grassroots level, no, not to open the carcass, just go for, so just do incineration, or you just uh, coming to the histopathology. So anthrax bacillus is found in blood smear, hemorrhages, lymphocyte depletion in the spear, hemorrhage in the lymph nodes, liver, lungs, and kidney. So degenerative and necrotic changes in liver and kidney. So anthrax, so it is as it is a zoonotic disease, so the jumping of the disease from the animals to the human is not a new cases, it is old cases. So it's a zoonotic disease. So three types of anthrax is generally found in case of human beings. So first of all is your cutaneous anthrax, and this is out of many anthrax found in case of human, this is the let 100% all, it might be around 70%. So it produces, so a one type edematous swelling it produces inside the subcutaneous, and that is your cutaneous anthrax. Then your intestinal anthrax might be by the contamination of their, consumption of your contaminated meat, the sieve and their beef. Then it might simulate the symptoms of the blood poisoning and the any cyanide poisonings. The respiratory anthrax also found when the spores, we inhale the spores, or then we'll find the respiratory anthrax. But the cutaneous anthrax is very much important. You just find the cutaneous anthrax. So this is the animals, those are already what infected. So the biting flies through the animal, or through the ingestion, okay, or the vegetative form through the oxygen. So the anthrax spore going to the human being. This is the cutaneous form of anthrax. I will show you a photo. This is anthrax course. This is cases here. And the cutaneous form of anthrax in human being is known as a malignant carbon cold. This is a frequently asked questions. These types of disease. So diagnosis is nothing but the sudden death of the several animals bleeding from the natural orifice. And you have to verify tarry color actually the unclotted. There is no clotting of your blood. Then ascoli specification test for this split. It is the work. So it is the work of a microbiologist to go for the ascoli specification test, taking the spleen lesion. So let's take the blackberry jam color like your spleen. The spleen is heavily enlarged and it looks like a blackberry jam. And the under the methylene blue stain that we found a bamboo like structure, and that's the whole the process or the reaction is known as Mark-Hydian reaction. So this is a Mark-Hydian reaction. Note the capsules are red in color around the bacilli. So inside the bacilli, bacilli are the blue color and a red color is covering on the your organism, and that is nothing but capsule. And this take the methylene blue reactions, and this is a Mark-Hydian reaction. You just see. This is a total bamboo separate structure. So, and in this lecture, I want to take apology from the professors, those people who have prepared the slides for the purpose of education. So please excuse me, sir, because I have copied this your all your PPTs from you and creating my YouTube channel. So my intention is to disseminate the knowledge, nothing else. So hope you have enjoyed this video to the last, and in another slide I will tell about the vaccination schedule, the how to control and prevent the anthrax, the epidemic status of the anthrax, as well as all these things I will tell in another slide. So hope you have enjoyed this video to the fullest. Thank you. Do subscribe and like my channel. Thank you.